Welcome back, everyone. Let's see what the price action has been up to. Let's see what setups are currently on play today. It is 5th of September. Today, I believe, let me double check that. Check that. Oh, today's Thursday. Wow. All right, cool. So we're going to see what potentially could be on play today. We're going to first of all recap where we were yesterday. And see whether we had any potential plays. So as of yesterday, we were looking at the following. We were considering the idea that yes, we've rallied down and we've tagged potentially deviated range low. We've also dipped into the 45-minute range demand as well as a single bar demand beneath us. And we're exploring the idea of a potential range. We said we're going to look to obviously catch the deviation plays from the range high and the range lows if we get them. And in the case that we do break bullishly from the range, we're going to look to play that retracement, all right, to carry the price further up. However, we said we didn't really want to touch this 2 hour zone before we get that retracement, all right, because if we did, if we did tag that 2 hour zone, that could just be the juice to set another lower low. So see what price did. Okay, so price pretty much did idea number three. We almost came back down to deviate that range low. However, we didn't. Price had a little pump up. We're going to check in a second to see whether that pump was from a golden ratio. I have a feeling it might be from a golden pocket or something. Christ, not Christ. Price pumped up. All right. Broke. I believe that is a 30-minute break of structure, because if that is an order block on the 30-minute, I believe this would have been a 30-minute break of structure. We're going to take a look in a sec. And what we see now is that retracement. We're obviously creating lower lows and lower highs all the way to the bottom. And it seems like we could potentially be getting a reaction off of this zone here. Clearly, we can see we have a 1 hour block here. If we take that over to the right, that's a position for a reaction. So we're going to explore that now. So let's get straight into it. But before we do any of that, just a big shout out to everyone who has followed recently. We've had quite a few in the last few days, actually. Don Dixon, shout out Don Dixon, shout out Burke Moho. I'm terrible with names. Masood, that sounds familiar. So I think that was from last week, yeah. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Welcome to the family. If you are looking to obviously, stay in the loop of what's going on, there is a YouTube channel. Feel free to follow that. Feel free to subscribe. You get a video every day, and it just pretty much goes through what we talk about here. We've got 36 subscribers at the moment. All right, so we're looking to get this to about. Let's get this to about 100. Let's get this to about 100 pretty soon. And when we get to 100, to do a nice 100, give $100 giveaway. Why not? $500 giveaway. 1 million, $1 million giveaway. Why not? Why not? All right. So we're gonna try and let's boost this up. So give me a little follow on YouTube. But if you are looking, to get some one-to-one sessions, if you're looking to understand price action a bit better and just talk about your trading experience, trading management, liquidity, order flow, check out the website, and feel free to use this WhatsApp tool whereby you can send a message straight from your WhatsApp to myself. Okay, so if you click on that, it will allow you to send a message right there. And of course, we've also got Discord. Discord is where I post my setups, and there are lots of traders over here that we're trying to grow this community so that we can share ideas, share trades, and share our insights, especially for beginners/intermediate traders. All right, so that's that done. Let's take a look at the price action. So we're not going to go over all the macro, elements that are going on at the moment. We're aware of that. We're aware that we've been in this range for ages. We're aware that we have a downtrending range, which has a kind of a wedge pattern. We're aware that we've had this PO3, where we had the accumulation, manipulation, and expansion. We're aware that we've hit the target of the PO3. We're aware that we're at the range low, and we are aware that we have this liquidity here. We're also aware that we have these supply zones above us. Okay, we're aware of all these things. There's a lot of things to be aware of. But with that said, how do we play the current price action and what do we see? Well, as of yesterday, we said, well, we've had this flush down, we've had this kind of a bear flag, so a low accumulation, or what would you call it, a low, so sort of a consolidation and another low, all right? And then, we've had a bit of a farting around here. It would have been nice. I would have loved to see this low get taken. If that low got taken, that's what I was waiting for. I would have loved to see that for a nice little trade, but it didn't happen. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get rid of that idea. Okay. And we were looking at this range high as well. We didn't quite get a reaction off of there. We blasted through this 30-minute zone. So do we need it? No, we do not. So we get rid of that. Okay. So it's, in my opinion, it's been a bit of a dry week for Bitcoin. It's been a bit of a dry week. We've had some trades. You could have entered this trade. There was a signal here. All right. It wasn't the best signal, but there was a signal here for a flush down. We're gonna check if there was a signal here. But these aren't the juiciest trades in my opinion. These aren't the trades that you can set and sit back and look at your P&L and for your 5-6 figures up. This those aren't the juiciest trades. But if you are desperate, and I'm sure we could have had a setup there. So we're gonna have a look at that in a second. But anyways, so we did not react off the range high. Instead, we broke structure bullishly, especially on a 15 minute. So we can see on a 15 minute, that's a breaking structure. Why is that a breaking structure? It's because, for those of you who are new, our market structure goes low, 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 high, low, 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 high, low, low, actually there, low, high, low, low, and then we create a high, high, which is a breaking structure, this being the break line, a high, high, okay, and all of this seems to be the retracement, all right, and that's exactly what we've got here. That's what we've got here, up retracement. All right, so we've had a break on the 12 minute, on the 15 minute, it's a break, on the 24 minute, it's a break, on the 30 minute, it's a break, on the 45 minute, it's a break, on the 2 hour, is it a break? So, no, it's not a break on the 2 hour. On the 1 hour, it's a break on the 1 hour, but it's not a break on the 2 hour, okay? So just be careful now because the 2 hour says this is not a break in structure. And remember, the higher time frame rules. So that's just something to bear in mind. So we're gonna say this is not a 2 hour break. This is a 2 hour SFP. All right, but that doesn't mean we can't retrace and rally back up and break structure properly, especially on the higher time frames. All right. So what we're gonna look at now is okay, can we catch that retracement leg? Then how would we be able to catch that retracement leg? That retracement leg over here. But before we look at that, all right, I'm going to talk about this little range we had here and see whether we had a play in there. So I'm going to drop down to about the 10 minute and we're going to analyze what's happened, perhaps the 5 minute even. So we're going to look at that little zone there. I'm going to make it a nice little box actually so we know what we're talking about. This little zone here, could we have had a trade in there? All right, so in this zone, what happened? So we had the low, massive flush down, all right? We dipped into that zone. If you limit order that, great. I wouldn't recommend you do that, but if you did, it works. It does work sometimes. All right, so what do we have on the way down? Now, as we got down, we had our immediate buyback, all right? But this immediate buyback did not break structure. Instead, price started to flirt around, creating a bit of a range here. This being your range low and this being your range high. So it starts to flirt around, okay? So we do this, we come down, we come back, we confirm the range here. Now, as far as playing ranges, what should you be doing? You could have been looking for a trade right around here, okay? So let's see what the market structure tells us. So right around here, we have a high, 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 low, high, high. Okay, so that means we won't really break structure. Actually, no, we did not. That is incorrect. What we have here is we've got a high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high. Okay, all right. So we're not looking to break structure here until we take out this level. All right. So could we have had a trade there? Well, in order to have a trade there, we're looking to take out this level here, which I don't think we did. In my opinion, we did not. All right, so what I'm going to do then is drop down to the 3 minute. Do we have more market structure in the 3 minute to allow us? Yes, we do. So on the 3 minute and the 5 minute, actually, you can see that this bar here was lower than that bar. So as a result, that was a sweep. So now your market structure looks like this. So you have high, high. I'm going to make this. Perhaps I'll make this 2 thickness. No, leave it 1 thickness. but make it a solid line. All right. So what we have now is we have more structure developed, which is high low, and then we have an SFP, and then we have a break. Now that break happens around there. Now following that break, we get a tiny retracement, okay? Or you could say, okay, this is my break all the way down here. You get a tiny retracement and then you come down. But is it worth risking that? Is it really worth doing all that analysis, yeah, just to get into this tiny little trade here? Is it worth it? Let's say you caught the top. Unlikely, but let's say you caught the top. Still 2.7. I just don't think it's a great position to be looking for a trade like that, honestly. All right. So let's look at what Market Cipher was saying as well. I'm sure Market Cipher did give us a divergence. It gave us a nice bearish divergence. All right. So as price is going up, creating higher highs, our momentum waves is going low. So this red dot traded lower than this red dot. So that is a bearish divergence. However, look, we're getting money flow, which is obviously telling us, money is coming into the asset. We're getting money flow with a positive gradient. It's sloping up. So to that, I wouldn't enter that trade, to be honest. I honestly wouldn't enter that trade, especially because this high did not sweep that prior high over there. Okay, so there's a chance that price easily could have done. All right, and in fact, that's what it did. So price came all the way down here, and guess what? It rallied back up. Okay, so I would not have entered that one. Now, could we have entered this trade here? Well, let's look at that. So if we get rid of this idea, so that idea is done now. Let's take a look at that. Could we have entered that little long over there? Well, Market Cipher is already telling us. Well, actually, it's not. It's not. Let's see. Do we have a divergence on Market Cipher for that trade? Do we have a divergence? Do we have a divergence? Do we have a divergence? Yes, we do. We do have a divergence. Yes, we definitely could have ended that. But let's look at this in terms of market structure first. All right. So in terms of market structure, what do we see here? So we realize, cool, this is a range. All right. Alternatively, we could say, you know what, ditch the range, and let's look at this as structure from bottom up. So we've got high, high, low. All right. And then, so you can't really call this a high, okay? This is what your structure looks like from bottom up, all right? Especially on the 5 minute. So if we come down to the 3 minute, as far as the 3 minute goes, you don't really have much on the 3 minute. Again, all right, so what we're going to look at now, the last thing we're going to potentially check is we're going to look at what Mr. Fibonacci is saying, all right? So we're going to take the fib tool from the range low to the range high, all right? And then we're going to see where the golden pocket lies. And we can see that the golden pocket lies right around here. So we did come close. We had attempt number one, attempt number two. We did come close, but we didn't quite tag it, all right? So that may be the 50% level, but we did not tag it. All right. So even Mr. Fibonacci said no. All right. So what we're going to look at now is let's see what the volume profile says. All right, Mr. Volume. Let's see what he says. All right. So he is saying something interesting actually. Mr. Volume is saying, okay, as of now, the value area high was there, value area low was there, POC was about there. But as price developed in that range, okay, perhaps we should take it just on the range high. As price developed, by the time we got that trade signal, let's take a look. I don't like the look of that. That price action here is just messy. It's just messy. So could we have entered that trade? We only could have entered that trade off of just purely market cipher. Purely the fact that market cipher gave us a nice divergence, being we're creating lower lows on a price and we're creating higher lows on our momentum waves. We've also got money flow sloping up like this. Okay, that's the only reason we could have entered that trade. And if you did, great. If you did, great. But I didn't. I did not enter that trade. All right. Those trades are nice though because they give you the best risk to reward. Whenever you get a continuation play where you have in an uptrend or in a downtrend, what do I mean by that? So this is what I call a continuation play. So this trades like this where you have a high and a high low. If you catch that high low, then man, honestly, those give you the best risk to rewards. So what we've got here is a nice little continuation play where you've got, your high, then you've got your low, and then you've come back up. All right. So we're just going to do the risk to reward for that. For those of you who did catch that, I did not enter that trade. If you did off of Market Cipher, your entry, if you were lucky, you might have got stopped out a few times before you caught that one. Your entry would have been about there. Okay. And look at that, almost AX. So not bad, but difficult trade to catch. Difficult trade to catch. All right, so now let's see where we are. So as we said, we've created this, we've broken structure on the 30-minute, and we're looking to catch that retracement, aren't we? All right. So as far as that retracement goes, I'm going to be saying to myself, well, what do I have here? The first one I'm going to say, where is my breaking structure? Okay, my breaking structure is not valid on the 30-minute, but it is valid, let's say, on the 15-minute. So we can go with 15-minute structure. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, cool, well, this is where our breaking structure is. Okay, we're going to call it 15-minute break. Okay, and here we can see that retracement of the 15-minute break. Now, why has price reacted here? Why did price stop there? Well, price stopped there. Some people would say, well, price stopped there because this was a Fibonacci pull from the range low to the range high, and it tagged the Fibonacci zone. Yes, that is true. It did tag the Fibonacci zone. Some people might say, well, price stopped there because maybe it agreed with some sort of volume profile from the low to the high. Okay, let's see. Perhaps, yes, it did agree with that POC level. But the reason price stopped there, it was neither of those things. Neither of those things are symptomatic of what's happened, the amount of demand and supply in the market. But the reason price has stopped there is because we have the juiciest order block. We have the juiciest demand zone right there on the 15-minute, and I'm sure we can see this on. You can see this on the 24-minute. You can see this on the 1 hour. It's clear. It's clear, very clear order block. But we're gonna play it on the 15-minute, because it looks nice. It looks nice on a 15-minute. And that's the reason why price has come there, because of that 15-minute demand zone. So we'll call it 15-minute. We do know it's present in other time frames. Why is this a 15-minute demand zone? Well, look at this. We've got low, 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 high, low, low. Then we have a decisive break of structure. Internal break of structure, yes, which also leads to an external break of structure. But this gives us reinforcement that this break of structure and this demand zone would work. So we're going to give that 1 star, okay, saying that, hey, listen, this is a really good order block, okay? And then we're going to give that another star to say, hey, listen, not only is this a really good order block, it's an order block that not only broke internal structure, also broke external structure. So this order block gets 2 stars, okay? So we can obviously give it more stars if we wanted, but we just didn't have the time. So what happens now is price retraces back. Okay, so as it retraces back, what am I looking out for? I'm looking to see where is that flipping market structure going to take place. So right now we've got lower, low, lower, high. We've got another low, low. Okay, I believe this is a low high. We can check that on a 10-minute perhaps. It would make sense. And then we've got a lower low that dips into demand. Ideally, I would like to see a breaking structure here. If I see that breaking structure here, God help me, I get a retracement as well. If I get a retracement as well, I'm in for that trade on the retracement leg. Very simple. Now, is that 100% going to happen? Of course not. It's not 100% going to happen, but if it does, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to get rid of that now. We're going to tidy this up a bit. All right, so that's trade idea number 1. Now, trade idea number 2 is, okay, let's say price dilly-dallies around, comes up here, doesn't quite break structure, and then breaks, and it results in this demand zone failing. Well, if this demand zone fails, I think this is our next target. This zone becomes our next target, and this zone is where I'm going to look for that trade, that long trade. Very similar to how we looked for a trade off of this zone earlier, where we had this being the low, okay? And, if price were to come back to that low, we were looking to enter a long trade. That's the way I'm going to play this. I'm going to say, right, if we do lose this level, well, this level here becomes our next zone, and we're going to look to long that, okay? So that's how I'm going to be looking to play my next trade, all right? And if that's the case, well, we better show that range then. Let's see that. Let's just show the fact that this could also be treated as a range, all right? And we're going to make that range 3. No, let's make that pink. No, I like do pink today. All right, so that's trade idea number 2. Trade idea number 2 is right there. So we're going to put a setup there. Now, I'm not saying limit order this, but I'm saying this would be a very good idea if we get a nice trade there. Also, look for market structure change. Look for flip in, look for divergences. Whatever your confirmation is, make sure you're looking out for those, all right? Now, that's our next trade. So what else are we looking out for? So if price fails here, also fails here, and continues to come back down, it continues to come down. Well, as we talked about, have a look at yesterday's video. Then we are treating this as the massive range. You see, we've got so many ranges going on here. We've got this external range, and we've got this internal range, and we've got this internal range, and we've got this internal range. All right, so price loves the range, as I say all the time. Okay, so if price does rally lower, have a look at yesterday's video. I go into a bit more depth as to what I'm going to be doing if that happens. All right, so these are my 2 long trades I'm looking out for today. I'm going to set alert number 1. Or do I don't really need an alert number 1 because price is already there. But I'm going to set alert number 2 here, which is already set, which is good from yesterday. All right. And let's say price does break structure. Okay. If price does break structure, I'm also going to be looking at this level here for a potential short trade, for a potential sweep of that level. Just it's not probable, but because we haven't broken the structure. Remember, we haven't broken the structure on the 2 hour. All right, so it's worth having a look at that because if that is an SFP on a 2 hour, what do I mean by that? Because on the 2 hour, let's make sense of this for you guys. Yeah, so because on the 2 hour, this is not your last lower high. On a 2 hour, this was an SFP. This did not break. All right. So there is a chance we come up here and then, flush down as a result. So that's how I'm going to look to play this. There is also a zone in here. Now this analysis, it's obviously, you need to take the time and do your own analysis as well. But this kind of gives you the framework of sort of these central trades you should be looking out for. But I'm going to be looking at this zone as well, all right, to see if we get a reaction off this zone, especially because that 2 hour SFP. And the reason for that would be that, well, if if this is not a break on the 2 hour, well, it may just simply be a case of low high, low low, low high, low low, low high. This may just simply be what our market structure is doing. Okay? And carrying further down all the way up here. So I'm going to be looking for a nice little short trade there to see if I can catch that level. All right, so that's it. We're going to put our setups there. So today we got some clear setups. We had a bit of time to get some clear setups. But, life's a bit busy at the moment, so I haven't managed to sort out my YouTube stream. But when I sort out the YouTube stream, we're going to be having 30-minute streams, hour streams to go into depth for each one of these levels rather than, breezing through these in 20 or less than 25 minutes. All right, so that's that. Hope you found this useful. If you want to stay in the loop with future trade setups, future opportunities with Bitcoin, I also do analysis for gold. Feel free to hit the follow button, follow on YouTube, and I will see you tomorrow. I have a feeling the big move's coming. Thursday, Friday. We need a good juicy setup this week. I have a feeling it's coming, so definitely stay tuned. Make sure your alerts are set up. Otherwise, have a great day.